But in the meantime, Pierre and I had established a really great rapport, but we found a balance. I think at the beginning he was calling me a lot because he wanted to make sure that, he wanted to make sure that I was fine. He wanted to make sure that I had anything that I needed. He was constantly offering a housekeeper or a babysitter, and I'm just like, do you know I would have to clean the house before the housekeeper came? Because I couldn't let the housekeeper come in and see Cheerios on the floor. So I never did take any of those things. But after a while, I guess, and I didn't never tell him, I have no new news today. Why are you calling me? But we just sort of found the balance of, after every time I would have a doctor appointment, I would email him and I would send him the scan, because we were doing the sonograms every time. Send him the newest picture and I'd tell him any news that the doctor had said, and then he would call me. When he got the email, then he would call me and we'd talk about it. But in between times, he really didn't, he didn't call, because he knew I didn't have anything new to say. I can tell you how many times I peed today, but that's not all that interesting to any of us.
If you're dealing with someone who is, let's say, less trustworthy than you, or how do you go about, balancing, or what do you think is the intended parent's responsibility in terms of making sure that the surrogate is eating well and taking all her medications, and how do you balance, because to a certain extent I would imagine you have to give up control.
Sure.
On the other hand, you want to somehow influence it positively.
I can imagine if I had been with someone who was constantly harassing me, what did you eat today? How did you take your vitamins? That probably would have gotten old, because ultimately you've got to trust me. I'm going to trust you to take care of these babies after I've done this. You've got to trust me that I'm taking care of them now, that I'm living up to my end of the bargain. In the process of getting to know somebody, even just reading what they've written in their profile, you're going to pretty much know if this is someone who is going to be open and enthusiastic and talking to you throughout the pregnancy, giving you the updates.
How much support or follow-up did you get from your surrogate agency once you became pregnant? Did you stay in touch with
They were extremely active within the first trimester, even to the point that the doctor that I was seeing, the fertility specialist in Dallas, she could not give me the results of my own. She couldn't even tell me the results of my blood test when I was pregnant. She had to tell them, and then they could tell me. They were very involved at that point, and then afterwards, once I got into my second trimester, they were there for me if I needed anything. They were obviously the ones cutting the checks, and if I needed anything, if I had any problems, when I had to say, okay, it's time for maternity clothes, a lot earlier than I expected, and that sort of thing, they were there for me, but they were not obtrusive. They were not calling me saying, how's it going? Are you taking your vitamins? Because at that point they had to trust me also.